can you give an unlimited amount of money to influence the political tides?
Essentially, you can, especially in the sort of post-Citizens United era of super PACs, which is the vehicle that Tom Steyer uses. You can write a check for however much you'd like, put it into a super PAC, and that super PAC can spend directly on any sort of political cause or candidate, so long as the super PAC is not coordinating with a candidate.
Peter, how did Tom Steyer get in this game? Just a few years ago, everyone in the hedge fund world knew who he was. He was a super legit guy. How did he go from being a strong hedge fund manager to this political activist donating serious dollars?
Serious dollars here? Well, he's joined the fray. I mean, he's late to the party to some extent. We had a lot of Republicans giving the last election. We had more Democrats showing up to contribute as well. And Tom Steyer has now grabbed this one issue, climate change, and decided to devote basically his personal wealth and money from others that he knows towards this issue, and because he feels so strongly about it.
But put it in perspective. Compared to big titans of industry who have given to candidates, what does $50 million look like?
$50 million is real money in today's politics. And for an individual to do it, again, we saw what Sheldon Adelson did the last time around, the amount of money he contributed to Newt Gingrich's losing effort. You saw so many people stepping up to give money to both Barack Obama's campaign in 2008, but also Hillary Clinton now coming around in 2016. This is real money, and it's an individual giving real money, which is the distinction here. You couldn't do this before in American politics. Citizens United, as Julie said, has changed the game here, and it's allowing individuals from both political persuasions to be able to get involved and have a direct impact. And the question is, is that a good thing? And is anyone out there thinking about changing it? Right now, it doesn't appear so.
So how can this money be used, Julie? I mean, we know that Tom Steyer worked against the Keystone Pipeline. He thinks that it could create environmental problems, but he's also backed candidates, including a gubernatorial candidate.
Well, he's going to use his money, I think, in a lot of different ways. I think he'll keep pounding away at Keystone through advertising, and he'll take that issue and try to elect candidates that are opposed to Keystone and favor his other sort of environmental causes like controlling greenhouse gases. So we could see him get involved in all sorts of different races, from Senate races to gubernatorial elections. He's done a little bit of everything. He's sort of testing out what he can do. And it looks like this is a year we'll see a lot of action from him in a lot of different ways.
Can you put it in perspective versus the Koch brothers? $50 million, as Peter said, is a real number. But those guys on the Republican or Tea Party side have given way more.
Sure. Well, it's difficult for us to know exactly how much the Koch brothers have given, because their sort of political vehicle of choice is nonprofit organizations, which don't have to disclose their donors. We just know that because they've been involved in politics for many years, they've been able to set up a huge apparatus of political giving and sort of pump money into politics that way. So while we don't have a total dollar amount on what they've given, we do know that they've got the experience and they've got the apparatus behind them, whereas people like Tom Steyer, like Peter said, are newer to the party and, maybe just don't have exactly the right footing just yet.
Peter, what about the word apparatus there? If I was sitting at this table with my mother and father and they listened to that, they would say, apparatus? What does that have to do with the political system and having the right leaders run this country? Doesn't that sound like engineering to you?
It certainly sounds ominous. Well, the Koch brothers are ominous, aren't they?
That's the criticism, obviously, you get.
They have an apparatus.
That's the criticism that you get, certainly for those who don't agree with what the Koch brothers are doing and how they're doing it. And it's also the criticism you're going to get from conservatives about the Tom Steyers of this world, who are giving now.
Surely less so.
Less so because they haven't been as involved, but it's going to start to escalate as you have Priorities USA that gave to Obama now contributing to.
Can any billionaire donor get the kind of conspiracy theory, ominous black eye that the media has given the Koch brothers? Is that possible?
George Soros.
I was going to say George Soros is a good example, and there's a distinction here, as Julie pointed out, is that if you give to a super PAC, as Tom Steyer has, creating the super PAC, you do have to disclose your donors. There is a certain level of transparency there. You have to also list the amounts. With the 501c4s, which is how the Koch brothers have done it, and others have done it, these nonprofit groups, you don't have to disclose your donors. And, the conspiracy theorists have focused a lot more on those groups because they don't know exactly what's happening behind the scenes.
Julie, you want to weigh in?
You bring up George Soros, right? I mean, at least Tom Steyer, if he doesn't have the footing or the apparatus yet, he surely has friends that could help him, or there are other billionaires out there that could share apparatus with him.
Absolutely, and that's what he's doing now, is in addition to pledging his own money, he's trying to entice other wealthy donors who care about the environment to help him out. His goal is $100 million to spend this year, forcing the environment, climate change into the political debate. It's not an easy task, but $100 million certainly will go a long way to helping it.
And Tom Steyer has said, listen, I'm targeting candidates who aren't with me on climate change, and he hasn't ruled out the possibility of going after some Democrats on that. He hasn't devoted any money to it yet, but, for example, Mary Landrieu, running for re-election senator in Louisiana, one potential Democratic target of Tom Steyer's. That'd be interesting if he did it.